Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Charles, as usual, the new name for this program. One of my patrons came up with this today, so hell yeah, Charles as usual. Now, guys, I want to show you, this is extraordinary. This is beyond extraordinary, what we're going to show you today, because a viewer of the channel by the name of Larry, who has the channel The Great Pyramid. Check that out. Check out his views. AIP, American Institute of Pyramid Research. He's got a lot of cool videos. Check those out. He sent me a message and he said, "Hey Charles, I'm at the Sphinx right now. What do you want me to photo?" And I said, "Hey Larry, go to the north side. Please take a picture of that door, that brand new door." And we couldn't see the door in his photos. We found another door. There is another bricked up door. In addition, there are polygonal blocks underneath what seem to be Old Kingdom repair layers, which is just incredible. Just incredible. I'll show you those. You know, there's nothing like being at an ancient site. When you're at an ancient site, you can start to see things, and the brain starts ticking over and observing. And seeing these high-resolution photos, I have to tell you, it's like being there. These photos are so good. We see doors to the underworld, doors which you never see in any textbook. I'm going to show you them. Let's start with this photo. We seem to have here, this is the north side of the Sphinx, I suppose the left paw. And what we have here, check this out right here. Check this out. We seem to have a clamp. That is a clamp, the likes of which we see at a place like, say, Tiwanaku. And I don't know if this is a modern clamp or an old clamp or what's going on. I feel it's probably a modern clamp which has been replaced, but it's interesting that modern people would resort to using a technique which was used in ancient Egypt and also ancient Tiwanaku. So clamps on the Sphinx are first. Let's go to the next photo, because there is just so much to show you here in high resolution detail. So this is the smoking gun that I wanted to show you. This is rather interesting. These here appear to be, to me, polygonal blocks of the pre-Roman style, the stuff you get in Italy, the stuff you get in ancient Greece. But the thing about them is they're incredibly, let's wait for the photo to improve, it just has. They're incredibly, they have incredibly fine edges. They do look like polygonal blocks. I don't think this is the bedrock. I could be very wrong, but these to me look just like polygonal blocks, huge polygonal blocks. And the funny thing about that is we have here the Khufu layer, the Khufu repairs. These have been redone, but they've been redone in the same way. I want you to have a look at this block here. Does that strike you as Peru looking, as familiar? The Peru blocks always have a corner missing. Look at this one over here. Look at this one over here. Very Peru-like. This is Khufu-era kind of stuff. Just really, this stuff really intrigues me. I'm sure it intrigues you as well. Just really interesting. But of course the conclusion here is, if these are polygonal blocks, well, the Khufu repairs, all this stuff here, this is Khufu. See, this is Khufu repairs, and that's redone Khufu repairs in modern times or earlier. The Khufu repairs are done on top of this. So we have another earlier megalithic culture, megalithic empire, which has built this. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Let's go to the next photo, because there is so much to show you and it's so exciting. Okay, now let's look here, and what I'm seeing here are different types of repairs, but in particular I'd like to draw your attention to this very unique block. I don't think this gets much attention. Check out this block, guys. What do you think of this? I mean, it's a little bit strange. It's a little bit weird. It's custom made for a particular joint or something, or who knows what it is. This is a very strange looking block. They talk about a many-sided polygonal block in Peru. Well, here we go. We have polygonal-like work here, but these narrower bricks here are more like mud bricks. This was a mud brick culture that built the narrower blocks, a more primitive culture. They're not as good as the Khufu repair job. The Khufu repair job, which was recorded in, of course, in the inventory stealer. He repaired the Sphinx. He didn't build it. These blocks are just not as good. So when you see the new narrower blocks, they're someone else. This could be Khufu stuff. This could be Khufu stuff. Again, that block. So this is and this would be a modern repair job in this patch here where everything's come away. You can see stuff's coming away all the time. It's extraordinary. Again, quite interesting. Quite interesting stuff. We see relics of the. Okay, this is the Khufu like Inca stuff. The Inca like mastabas, blocks like that, blocks with corners taken out. Rather interesting. Again, very interesting. Diagonals, strange blocks, blocks without corners over here. And there were the top of the Sphinx in the photos was white. Now these photos are just 2 days old, so it looks like they're painting them with whitewash. They're putting quicklime on top, and I suppose this is going to restore the limestone constituency of the Sphinx somehow. So these three Egyptians are busy at the moment doing this job to coat it white, it seems. Bizarre. Look at this guy's hard at work. Yeah, they're hard at work. This guy's taking photos to make sure the work's being done, to show the boss. What strikes me is the whole area is very empty. Maybe it's early morning. There's this one tour bus. I guess the tourism is down. Robert Temple talks about these in his books. These are drainage canals. And this gave him the idea that the Sphinx moat was full of water. But I have to say, looking at it, it doesn't look like it would have been full of water to me. I think the water would have just drained away. There's too many crevices and cracks everywhere. I don't think this would have held any water, to be honest. Maybe in more primitive times. Here we have a rubbish mud brick wall, and there's an equally rubbish wall underneath. I had a look earlier. There's nothing polygonal about it. Very interesting. They want to keep the tourists away from the edge. Now here's a very interesting thing. You've got a doorway here, so let's zoom into that. There's a doorway there. It looks like a kind of tomb. Rather interesting. Why is it boarded up? I haven't read about this anywhere. Maybe it's just someone's tomb. There's no information about these things. Here we have a doorway. Where the heck does this go? This would go underneath Giza. A doorway underneath Giza. It's so interesting. This would have maybe led to the front door of the Sphinx, which I'll show you in a moment. And I want to show you something else. We have here a corroded, what looks like a eroded mud brick. I would call it a statue of some sort. I think that's mud brick. I think that's what mud brick looks like when it's been highly eroded. So there was a statue here next to the back of the Sphinx, near the tail. What the heck is going on? Down there is a little doorway that Robert Temple crawled into in his book about the Sphinx. You can sort of stick your head in and have a look. And there's a small room in there. We see modern repairs, we see older repairs, and we see Khufu work up here, or at least Old Kingdom work. Try and zoom in manually. Over here we have a strange polygonal, strange cutout polygonal block. It looks a bit weird, just a bit strange. Over here, so of course they have the camels and all this, and the They want the tourists. Over here we have a mastaba with an Inca-like door. Very nice. I haven't seen this particular mastaba before. Let's check out the blocks. The blocks appear to be restored. That one's got a polygonal side to it. And behind that, do you recognise this building behind it? The second Sphinx, the Khufu-eras. I think it was Wise Up who came up with this. I'm not sure. He had a video very early on about this this other structure at Giza, and I said I think it's the second Sphinx, and other people said it, and so you got I think that's what that is. Another mastaba over here. It's this is like being at Giza. This is really cool. It's harder to tell what's going on with this building. This building is a bit ruinous. Maybe it's one of the Sphinx temples. I think that's what it could be. Next photo. Again, the fissures and the cracks from the erosion. This strange mud brick eroded structure. Okay, you asked for it. The door. There is another door here. Let's have a closer look. And it is very different to the door in the earlier video. It's a different door, guys. There's another door. Hey guys, there's another door. Bricked up at the Sphinx. Just unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, this is the only photo I've got of it. It's clearly a door. It's clearly bricked up. It's got a kind of, I don't know, a doorbell. I don't know what that thing is. It's an odd-looking stone that's sticking out there, isn't it? I mean, that's weird. I mean, what is going on with that? Very strange. Very strange indeed. Very weird, I have to say. So it's definitely a door because the bricks are recessed in there. Just a narrow little door. Strange. And I believe this is towards the back of the Sphinx. And of course, now what I wanted to show you here was so we have some modern repairs in a few places. We have some older repairs here. And then we have the old kingdom-style Khufu repairs. So this is how you tell. Look, this is how you tell. You just look at it. So this is very Khufu-like. So I was staring at this for a while, and I was wondering, are these a type of nub on the bottom of the Khufu repair job blocks? What's going on with these? Look, is that a space there for another megalithic style block to rest upon right there? This is really cool stuff, and when you examine the Sphinx in detail and look at high-res photos, you can start to see some really interesting things like this. This is definitely Old Kingdom mastaba-like work, which has been done to fix it. So, of course, this proves, hey, pre-Khufu, guys, it's pre-Khufu. It's absolutely pre-Khufu. I'm out of photos. Again, this shows some erosion. Okay, let's zoom in over here. I'm actually curious about what these things are. Let's zoom in. There we go. And okay, this is what curators do when they find blocks they don't know where to put them. They put them in a locked area to the side, or even in an open area to the side. It's usually in the basement of a church. Try and get into the basement of a cathedral in Europe, the crypt, and you'll see stuff like this, which is from the Dark Ages, statues of Apollo and stuff. Early Christianity. Here, I assume this whole Sphinx enclosure is locked up, and you can't get in there, and because Great Pyramid, Larry of Great Pyramid doesn't seem to be down there. He's instead up on top of the cliff, taking zoomed-in photos. Bit of the drainage network there. Okay, guys, I really hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, Charles, as usual, and I will catch you next time for another exciting episode of Charles, as usual.